Coming up next on 11 News at noon, Houston says farewell to the first African-American police officer assigned to the Narcotics Division. Is a huge beehive in Pearland home to killer bees? And you've heard of blood donations, but now your DNA may be in high demand. These stories and your forecast with Mario Gomez next on 11 News at noon.
Brain damage, birth injury, cerebral palsy, birth trauma, medical malpractice.
When a baby is injured during pregnancy or birth, parents come away with questions that often go unanswered at the NICU, or the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. I'm Deborah Talaska with the Talaska Law Firm, a firm experienced with answering the questions that haunt you. If you have questions about your child, please call us toll-free 1-888-791-5191.
Sure, it was a little awkward, but my doctor made it more comfortable.
So I asked a few of my friends, and they said Memorial Hermann was the best place to have my baby.
I was nervous about my first mammogram, but they made me feel totally at ease. It only took a few minutes.
And I left with a feeling that I was in good hands, and my bones were in good shape, so I could live a full life and enjoy my granddaughter, Laura.
Memorial Hermann, for your whole life. Check out the DeMontron High School Sports Corner with special reports from the Houston Chronicle sports reporters and the 11 sports team. Sunday mornings on Channel 11. Now, 11 News at noon.
A pack of dogs leads police to what they believe is an organized pit bull fighting group. Good afternoon, I'm Stephanie Sandoval. Jerome Gray is off today. A Northeast Houston home was surrounded by law officers this morning, but it was dogs they were after. 11 News reporter Mike Zintek is live with more. Mike?
Well, Stephanie, Houston police are still here at this Northeast Side house, and they believe they came upon this morning an organized fight involving pit bulls. What you're looking at now is what Air 11 was able to see from above. You can see there were several pit bulls chained there in the back. Right there, there's one, and then there were several others. We're told there might be at least 10 back there. Police say this all started when they responded to a disturbance call, and they came upon two pit bulls fighting. Animal Control then arrived shortly afterward and began removing the dogs. They took at least 2 out so far. That was one of them. They've taken at least 2 dogs out so far. There could be as many as 10 back there, as we mentioned. Houston police have spoken with 2 men at the scene. They were talking with 2 men for most of the morning during the time we've been there. And you see one of them there. He says he's the property owner, and he claims the dogs belong to other family members. Houston police tell us, though, several people did flee from the scene when they arrived this morning. At this point, Stephanie, we're told that the property owner will be cited for having a kennel without a permit and not having vaccinations and tags for the dogs. Beyond that, any other additional charges, we're not sure at this time, but as you can see behind me, police are still here working this all out.
Okay, thank you, Mike. A Texas law enforcement legend is remembered today. Edward Stringfellow spent 25 years as a Houston police officer. Today, friends, family, and colleagues paid respects to the lawman. 11 News reporter Amy Tortolani joins us from Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church with more. Amy?
Good afternoon, Stephanie. It's been more than 2 decades since Edward Stringfellow pounded the pavement in the city's 3rd Ward. He was better known as String, and today, inside this church, they're still singing his praises. Edward Joe Stringfellow started with the Houston Police Department in 1954 when it was segregated. String is credited with sweeping the city's streets clean of drugs. As a narcotic agent, he was called fair and tough during his 25 years of service. The officer was so respected, a local DJ even wrote a song about him. Today, Stringfellow is remembered for what he did for Houston, the Houston Police Force, and the African-American community.
When we came on the police department, he was our role model and mentor. When we came on the police department, I'm talking about back in 1979.
I think it's more than just a black officer back in the 50s not being able to arrest white criminals. Can you imagine if he was not there, what would have happened all those years? And we've come a long ways, and we're going to miss him.
Now, as the legend goes on, Stringfellow was so good that the Texas Department of Public Safety even borrowed him. Stringfellow's accomplishments do go on. He was named Chief City Marshal and had the Southeast Police Substation named after him. I'm told today he is going to be greatly missed. They're still inside, started about 10 o'clock. They say they're remembering all the good times. Stephanie?
Okay, Amy Tortolani live in Southeast Houston. Thank you, Amy. Law officers in the U.S. and Russia have broken up an international child pornography ring. The Russian website sold videotapes worldwide depicting children in sex acts. Many of those tapes, which cost $200 to $300, were shipped to the U.S. 4 people have been arrested and 15 search warrants issued in the U.S. In Russia, 5 people were arrested. 2 U.S. fighter jets have been reported missing over a Scottish mountain range. The 2 were on a training flight from the U.S. base northeast of London. Ground control says they lost contact when the aircraft reached the mountain range. The U.S. Air Force has notified authorities to begin search efforts. No word yet if weather was a factor in the disappearance. Safety concerns surfaced after an early morning apartment fire. Fire investigators are looking into whether Meadow Ridge Apartments in southwest Houston had smoke detectors. If they did, they want to know if they were working. Firefighters also say they had problems getting through the apartment gates because they were padlocked. No one was hurt, but 2 units were damaged. One of them was vacant. Another delay for Metro's light rail system. This time, contractors don't have the necessary permits to start construction. The light rail will run from downtown to the Astrodome area along Main Street. 2 lanes will be closed along Main for a while. The other Metro construction project, which will be done at the same time, is along Fannin. It will mean total reconstruction of the concrete pavement. No doubt getting around downtown is going to be a little difficult. Pilots at the nation's second-largest regional airline walked out early today after contract talks broke down. Comair, which also flies under the name Delta Connection, serves more than 8 million passengers annually from 95 cities. A union spokesman says the pilots are prepared to continue the strike for as long as necessary. At issue, better pay and benefits and more rest time between flights. In Houston, Comair makes up only about 1% of flight travel. The White House says President Bush has not yet indicated whether he'll intervene in those Comair strikes. Meanwhile, President Bush is continuing his tax tour today. He left this morning for a 2-day trip to Missouri, Montana, and Michigan. So far, the president has pitched his $1.6 trillion tax cut plan during visits to a dozen states. Bush says his proposal would slash the marriage penalty and double the child tax credit. The president is expecting the House to approve the measure later this week. If there is any doubt that spring has arrived, take a look at this. A swarm of bees attached to a tree in front of this Pearland home. Now, these are not killer bees, but their sting can be just as dangerous. A bee expert has been called out to remove those insects. Let's take a break from the headlines now and get a check on the weather. A much cooler morning and afternoon for us, especially for this time of year. Taking a look at the live eagle-eye shot of downtown, we're told the rain could be returning by tomorrow, Mario. I guess that's rain, go away today.
That's right. A sure sign of spring also. Not only the bees showing up in your garden, but also some rain getting around town, Stephanie. So far, most of the showers, according to our SkyMax Dopplers around the state, are in the northern end of the state, near the Dallas-Fort Worth area. A very cold rain falling around the Dallas and Fort Worth metro areas, but here in Houston, it's just chilly and kind of gray and overcast. Our current temperature is 57. The temperatures over the weekend and later on today will be running about 10 degrees cooler than usual. This morning, we bottomed out in the low 40s. How cool will it be today? We'll find out and check out your forecast for the rest of the week in just a while. Stephanie?
Okay, Mario, look forward to it. Well, do you have too much credit? The 11 News Defenders help you answer that question. And the Queen of Clean gets spots out of ties. And facial hair with character?
You asked for a great selection of used cars all in one place, so we created CarMax. We have up to 10 times more used cars than the average dealer, so you can test drive nearly every make and model, from sports cars to minivans, all on one lot. CarMax, the way car buying should be.
CarMax.com has a great selection of used cars online. We carry nearly every make and model. Find a car from any of the thousands we sell nationwide and have it transferred to the store nearest you. CarMax, the way car buying should be.
Can you imagine Houston without freeways? With no skyscrapers? And not a single TV station? That's what it was like back in 1933 when Old Shan leveled its first foundation. Friends, a lot has changed, but for nearly 70 years, Houstonians have trusted Old Shan Foundation to protect their homes. And now with patented cable lock technology, Old Shan gives you a lifetime transferable warranty. Old Shan Foundation. If you don't need us today, we'll be here tomorrow.
Fishing season's in full swing at Golden Corral with Fisherman's Friday, featuring butterflied shrimp, scampi, salmon, whitefish, fried catfish, and fishing boats. Enjoy the Fisherman's Friday buffet every Friday for just $7.99. Plus, when you purchase any Fisherman's Friday buffet, you'll get a $5 certificate good for merchandise at Bass Pro Shops and a chance to win this Nitro 882 bass boat. Fisherman's Friday buffet and the Bass Pro Shop sweepstakes. Fridays at Golden Corral.
They are among the finest in their specialties. Their patients are referred to them from all over the world. They have a wealth of experience and compassion. And when you need them, they're there. At Diagnostic Clinic of Houston, they have the resources and the technology to find answers to your health concerns. They are an impressive team of specialists to whom you can refer anyone. Diagnostic Clinic of Houston. Refer someone you love. In the spirit of Texas, you're watching 11 News at noon.
A lot of people are whipping out the plastic too often, leaving them thousands of dollars in debt. 11 News Defender's consumer reporter Eileen Faxas shows us how having too much credit is just as dangerous as having too much debt.
For Melanie Collins, the bill routine was torture.
When I'd sit down to pay my bills, I'd end up in tears because I didn't know how I was going to pay them all.
Collins was a credit card junkie, racking up a baker's dozen.
They would come in the mail, and I'd think, here's some more credit, here's some more stuff I can go buy.
According to CardWeb.com, Americans charged more than $1 trillion on their Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and American Express cards in 1999. And households with credit cards carry an average balance of almost $8,000. Collins was above average.
We owed right at $20,000.
That's when Consumer Credit Counseling swooped in, telling Collins it's not just about paying off balances, but eliminating cards. Too many cards sends warning signs to lenders, especially if you're buying something big like a house or a car.
That means that you have access to that credit so that you could run up those credit lines and make it difficult for you to pay that large purchase.
The CCC's Rudy Cavazos advises paying off purchases in 30 days, 90 days tops. And most consumers can survive with one major piece of plastic. Collins dropped 8 of her 12 cards, cutting her debt in half, and has strong words for potential plastic junkies.
Don't do it. Step away from the mailbox. Throw it in the trash can. It's only going to hurt you.
Eileen Faxas, 11 News Defenders.
So how can you tell if you have too much credit card debt? If you put 20% of your income into credit card bills, if you pay for things like groceries and utility bills with your plastic, and if you're bombarded by late fees. Get ready for a change in one of the most powerful professions in America. It's expected for the first time the majority of students entering law school this fall will be women. It's a big change from just a few years ago, according to the American Bar Association. Keeping a tie clean can sometimes be just as tough as keeping a toddler from making a mess. But our 11 News Queen of Clean has a homemade solution.
Don't let those spots on ties tie you in knots. There's a simple way to get those spots out. Hi, I'm Linda Cobb, the Queen of Clean, and today we're talking dirty ties and how to clean them. And it's simple. You're going to take a pad of paper towels or a cardboard and simply slide it into the tie before you spot it. That keeps the spot from coming back through. If you're in a restaurant, take a little club soda on a soft cloth, even a napkin's fine, and blot the spot away. And if there's a hand dryer handy in the restroom, blow that spot dry to keep a ring from forming. Now, if you have a heavier spot on it and you want to dry clean it, use some Energine spot remover. Put a little on a soft cloth, blot that spot until it is completely removed, and then take your blow dryer and dry it. There'll be no telltale ring. And thanks for talking dirty with the Queen of Clean.
For more tips from the Queen of Clean, log on to KHOU.com and you'll find a link to the Queen's website. On Friday, the Queen of Clean is going to show us how to make homemade cleanser. Well, giving a little blood and your family history could mean a great deal to some scientists. And slowing puberty in girls, how one gene may be the key.
Mom and I constantly battle about using the car. I'll be right back.
But I need to go to the grocery store for dinner. There is one thing that brings us together, and that's our air.
Okay, you can drop me off. It's real easy for us to combine errands to cut unneeded trips. Dad can pick me up on his way home from work.
So do your share for clean air.
It's everybody's business. Okay, I'll drive.
Clean air is everybody's business.
You know Lawrence Marshall has the best deal on Chevy trucks. Well, now's the time to get your best deal on a Chevy car, too. We've discounted every Impala, Malibu, Camaro, and Cavalier at our new Jersey Village location. Plus special financing as low as 1.9%. It all adds up to huge savings on the new Chevy you really want. Hey, you like saving money, don't you? Lawrence Marshall Chevrolet, Highway 290 at Eldridge. We clobber big city prices.
A good rinse from time to time will maintain the long-lasting beauty of your brick home. And just let it dry. Brick, the natural choice.